Hey everyone, Token Dave over here, dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. And welcome back to another token list. My ranking of items and materials that are not in the multiple of 5. Well, it is January 31st, and in my final Jack Ryan January video, I figured it's time for me to basically explain how the Ryans stack up against each other, right? So, basically, thus far on screen, we've only seen 4 renditions of Jack Ryan. Well, not 4 renditions, but 4 actors portraying the character Jack Ryan. And hence, you can't see it right now, but I'll just scroll down. It's one of the reasons why I'm wearing my Fantastic Four shirt. Anyway, so here is how I rank all the actors that have portrayed Jack Ryan thus far. Alright? Number 4, Harrison Ford. Now, the person that played the character the most and potentially had the most money and had better movies, a problem is Harrison Ford really didn't capture Jack Ryan. He came close in Clear and Present Danger, but from reading the novels, basically, Jack Ryan was, he was an intellectual, and, he was very outspoken, and he was an academic. Ford portrayed Ryan more like an action hero, the guy that, yes, he is kind of like, a government official, but he's a government official that basically, he gets involved with a lot more fisticuffs and doesn't use his wits enough. Something that Jack Ryan is greatly known for. And to top it off, and I hate to sound like an ageist, but Harrison Ford was a little too old to be playing Ryan, especially in both of his movies. In Patriot Games, Jack Ryan is in his very early 30s. And in Clear and Present Danger, he is actually in his late 30s compared to Harrison Ford, who was actually, I think Harrison Ford was actually in his mid to late 40s at the time. So going from someone in their early 30s to their late 30s and having somebody in their 40s portray them and not act like somebody, because basically, you can see why, basically, at least in Patriot Games, Ryan is more active and more physical, but not as much so in the novels. And in Clear and Present Danger, he was actually like, in way too many, like, shootouts and ambushes and had to take on people hand to hand way too many times. So, yeah, basically Harrison Ford did not really encompass the character of Jack Ryan at all. No disrespect to Harrison, who's an outstanding actor, but this was really not the role for him. Number 3, Chris Pine. Now, Chris Pine, I'll be honest, I enjoyed him as Ryan, but the problem, and I understand they were rebooting the character, trying to modernize him a little bit. What was the only problem? The same problem that Harrison Ford had. He was a little too physical in this. However, basically with him fighting off that one person in close range quarters and then killing him off. Well, I know Jack Ryan is a Marine, and they actually explain this. They explain his origins best in this reboot compared to some of the other movies. But he was too fisticuffs like, and I understood that they needed to do that to basically make the movie a little bit more exciting and not the cerebral chess match that the movie that Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit was as well. But that's the main complaint that I have about Chris Pine as Jack Ryan. Other than that, Chris Pine was very good. You saw him as the economic analyst. You saw him as an executive. You actually saw him basically like, the patriot that quit school to join the Marines to defend his country. And you also saw him use his brain a lot more, which helped get him attention from the CIA after he got injured. So basically, Chris Pine was actually a point in the right direction. Just need a little bit polishing, but still a decent portrayal of the character. Number 2, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck gets unjustified hate for this role. Basically, I understand that, Ben Affleck is hit and miss and everything, but this was a second reboot attempt, and basically, the first reboot attempt, and basically, this showed Ryan very green at his job. One of the reasons why I actually put Chris Pine below Ben Affleck is because Ben Affleck perfectly portrayed Ryan at the point that they were trying to portray. With Ryan being naive and green and not really used to anything, Ben Affleck was perfect. And to top it off, and I could have seen if basically the Jack Ryan series progressed, under Ben Affleck portraying Ryan, basically you would have seen the maturity and basically, the growth and the trust that Ryan ended up garnering, in the CIA. And to top it off, basically, one thing that Chris Pine and Harrison Ford did not display was that basically Jack Ryan himself is very outgoing and very charming. You really got that from Ben Affleck, something that basically, that's the only character trait that you really got from any of the other actors that portrayed Jack Ryan in this. So I enjoyed Ben Affleck as Jack Ryan. Perfect, young, very green Jack Ryan, and would have grown to be the more seasoned, yet still pure character that Jack Ryan was at the point between Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Number 1, Alec Baldwin. Talk about perfect casting right off the bat. We had Alec Baldwin portraying Jack Ryan and being the first person to ever portray Jack Ryan. Here, basically, we got that Ryan was in the CIA for a couple of years already, but he's still relatively young. He's still the person that is able to grasp what's going on behind the scenes better than anyone else. He has excellent instincts, great hunches, and actually looks more the part of the Irishman. Alec Baldwin, with his black hair, his piercing eyes, and his piercing blue eyes, mind you, you always saw him, taking in a situation and basically gathering the facts and analyzing it. He paid great attention to all of his surroundings, and unlike the other actors that portrayed Jack Ryan, Alec Baldwin portrayed him closer to the analyst that he is. He was the type of person that basically, while he did actually have one action scene, pretty much was the advisor. He pretty much had to go out and explain things to people and actually formulate his own ideas to get things done. So Alec Baldwin was definitely the best person to portray Jack Ryan thus far. Well, those are my rankings of how I feel who were the best and worst persons to portray Jack Ryan. Agree? Disagree? Please drop me a comment below, give me a like, follow me on Facebook at Token Dave or on Twitter at TokenDave80, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. I'm greatly looking forward to the Jack Ryan series, while I am basically kind of 50-50 on the odds of it, getting a wider audience. I am hoping that basically John Krasinski, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I hope that he actually is able to bring the decent balance that Ben Affleck and Alec Baldwin had when portraying Jack Ryan. Until then, take care, everyone.